Many years ago, around 2015, I decided I wanted to move away from jQuery and move to a more robust framework. And in researching those, a few features in Vue really stuck out to me and got me to choose Vue as my main framework. One of those features was a single file component, which we're going to look at later on. Another was vModel, which I'm going to show you very soon. And the third, which really impressed me, was the computed properties, which we're going to look at right now. So basically, a computed property is going to be very similar to a method. However, it takes no arguments and it's going to update automatically based on any other values. That's kind of hard to understand, so let's see it in practice. The first thing you need to do to create a computed property is just declare the computed property here. And inside of here, we're going to create a function which is going to take no arguments. In this case, I'm going to call it evenList. And for now, what we're going to do is just return the numbers array as is. So I'm just going to say return this.numbers. And now I'm going to use this up here, and if everything goes as expected, it's going to work exactly the same. Much like data and methods, you're able to access any computed property by just calling it on the template, and it's going to be available automatically. Let's save this off and see if it's working. If I refresh the page, you can see everything is still working exactly the same, which is exactly what we expected. Now what we're going to do is move this complexity and this logic out of the template into our computed property. And that's going to make things much more readable and maintainable. At least in my opinion, I much prefer to have the complexity out of the template and into the computed properties, datas, or methods. So what we're going to do is delete the check for isEven here, and we're going to perform this filter down here. So what I'm going to do is filter this list, and we're going to get the number, and if the number is even, we're going to return it. So I'm just going to say this.isEven and call my isEven function, passing in the number as the first argument. And if we've done everything correctly, it's only going to render the even numbers here. Let's save it off and try it out. There you go, you can see everything is still working exactly the same, but our template is a whole lot more simple and much easier to read and understand. The really cool thing here is we still only have a single source of truth. The numbers array is just declared down here. One alternative would have been to create another variable called evenList down here, but then we'd have to update two lists every time this numbers array changed. By creating a single computed property, it's going to update automatically every time the numbers array changes. Just to illustrate this point, I'm going to add another number over here. I'm just going to say this window.app.numbers and push in 20, which is an even number. And by doing that, it's going to automatically update the DOM. So what's happened here is numbers has been updated automatically. Because we have a computed property that's using numbers, Vue has realized that and it's automatically updated the evenList variable as well. And finally, it's gone and re-rendered the DOM. So this is really convenient. Computed properties are very, very powerful and we're going to see them a whole lot more as this course goes on. But this is just one of the really impressive features to me, that Vue is automatically able to track the dependencies and update everything for you. There is one small improvement we can make here. Because we have an arrow function and we only have a single expression inside it, we can actually delete the return statement and it's going to be returned automatically like this. And if we save this one off, it's going to work exactly the same. And there is actually another improvement we can make to make this even more concise. Because we're only passing a single function here, we can actually delete this and just pass the function we'd like to call. And what that's going to do is automatically call the function with the current number that we're iterating over on. And if we save this one off, it's still going to work. If you're not used to seeing this very concise kind of code, it can be a little bit confusing. And if that is the case, I would more than encourage you to just continue using this more verbose style. I think it's completely fine as well. It's really up to the user. I personally like this very concise style, so I'm going to revert to that. But again, that's completely your decision. Do whatever you're most comfortable with and ultimately make the code work, and then you can spend time refactoring and making it beautiful.